Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. My name's Liz and this is Let's Get Lizical, where we do everything card making. Today I'm going to be doing a custom Slimline card for my sister for her birthday, which was this week. And so happy birthday to my sister. But I made this custom Slimline again, which is 3.5 by 7. I like to use this size just because it's like a little less to fill than a full slimline, but it's a little bit more width to it than a mini slimline. So I just took a regular slimline card that I had already done a while ago and just cut off that extra 1.5 inches. And then I'm going to be making a scene with some cloud dyes, but I'm going to be using it for trees and bushes instead, which I've always kind of like wanted to try but haven't tried yet, so I did that this time. I also used some wavy border dye kind of things to make some water, so we're going to be doing a little scenery with like a pond and a tree, and we're going to be using the Mama Elephant Hello Froggy and Little Froggy Agenda stamp sets today. I think I just wrote down Little Frog Agenda on the thumbnail, but I'm using both of the sets. So right now I'm just going to be doing all my ink blending, and I wanted to ink blend a little bit of a sky that gradiated from darker to lighter up towards the trees. Originally I was going to use both of these green pieces as the tree at the top, but then I was like, I think it needs a little bit of a like bushy area or something, so I end up using that darker green actually as the bush and the lighter green as the tree. I am going to ink blend all of these panels just to give it a little bit more depth as well. And today I'll be doing all of my ink blending using Simon Says Stamp Positively Saturated inks. I will link them all in the description down below. The colors that I used were Marine for the sky, Cadet for the water, and then I use Perfection and Field for the bushes. For the lighter green, I used the Perfection, and then for the darker bushy area, I used the Field ink. So you're gonna see me picking out the colors here, and I'm just kind of like putting my cardstock up to the ink swatches that I've attached to the side of the ink cubes, and just kind of like picking what tonal values go better with it, which is why I ended up picking the Field and the Perfection. So for now, I think I'm just going to play some music because I'm just going to be ink blending for a bit, and then I'll come back. Okay, so now that that's done, I'm just gonna start placing my pieces here. Just gonna play around with it for a bit and then put some mark lines here on the paper to say like this is where I want it. And then I'm just gonna glue them straight down. I'm not gonna add any dimension to the actual background. I end up using some foam tape on a couple of the frogs later, but that's about the only dimension that I put on this card. This water's not ink blended yet either. I ink blend it after it's on the card just so I know what size I'm cutting the panel. Ideally, I should have done it first because there's a bit of like a dip where the bushes are there. So I had to be very careful when I was ink blending not to hit that area too much, because then you're going to end up with like that straight line across. So I'll do that like carefully in a bit. But right now I'm just gluing all my pieces down. Oh, here I am, ink blending. So I'm just gonna go like a bit around the edges, and then I realize there's like that line there. So I just very carefully avoid that area as much as possible. You see like a tiny bit of it, but not too much. It's not very noticeable. And once I put all the frogs there, you won't even notice it's there. So again, I'm just gluing everything flat, and then I'm using my scissors just to trim off the edge bits. I could have used my paper cutter for this, but I decided just to use scissors. It's such a small area anyway. And I feel like if you do small enough little snips up your paper, it works better than doing one big long one for some reason for me. That's just the way I do it. But like, yeah, I'm just gluing this panel onto the card base now. And I made the panel a 1/4 inch smaller, so the actual front panel measures 3 1/4 by 6 3/4. And then I'm gonna play around with my stamps. The first couple of frogs that I color, I didn't really like the way they turned out, so I tried something a little bit different, and then I end up recoloring those other ones after, which you'll see. But for now, I'm just gonna, again, play some music because I'm just doing my stamping, coloring, and then restamping again as usual. So now that that's done, I've stamped, colored, stamped, and then cut them out using my brother's Scan and Cut. It's time for placing, which is both fun and frustrating sometimes, especially when you're doing slimline cards and you want to add like a ton of little images on there. It just like gets either a little busy or you don't know where to place them. So I play around with the 2 jumping frogs mostly. I end up putting the big one up there and then the little ones in the water kind of jumping out. And I'm going to put like a little sentiment in the sky that says hopping by to say, and then the card off camera after this is done, I just put like happy birthday in there and then wrote her a nice message. But once everything's kind of like in place, I end up putting the little frog with the mushroom, the big jumping frog, and the little jumping frog up on some foam tape. The other ones I glued down flat, and then I used my Posca marker to add highlights and some like water splashes for the like little frog jumping up. Just to add like a little bit of movement. I also added some kind of like water ripples around the frog with the mushrooms, just because he was kind of somewhat standing in the water. And then the other little frog here, I also added some highlights to the bushes and the water itself. And then that's about it. So I'm just going to play a little bit of music again while I fiddle around with this, and then I will be back. So that's basically our card for today. Thanks again for joining me. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so, and the notification bell so you don't miss any future content. Leave a comment down below and let me know what your thoughts are on this card. And until next time, thanks. Bye.